Hi everyone, Budget Stark here. Thanks again for tuning in. We're going to be checking out the Iron Man 3 Mark 41 Bones. It's released today, June 9th, 2015. And I picked this up. This is my personal one that I got. I think it may have been actually the first one out of Secret Base. I generally don't give opinion about armors, but this one is amazing. It's probably for Iron Man hardcore collectors only, because it's not, for example, the hero armor. There's only about 5 seconds of this in terms of screen time, but the level of detail for what it is, the articulation, the design, the engineering of this is absolutely phenomenal. I don't do reviews, so for you guys who are familiar with my channel, I'm sure you'll be checking out people like TheReviewerKing, Denobi 2, Shartimus Prime, Xenomorph, those guys. If you're looking for a full review of this figure, this is going to be a first look at this figure only, so you know roughly what it looks like and a couple of the things you need to be aware of. When I picked this up from Secret Base, they gave me a couple of warnings, as with all new figures, Secret Base tell you some things you need to note. The first thing is that a lot of parts are magnetic, and in the next clip I'll show you how it's all broken down so you can see how parts fit together. So for example, the leg joints here, the arm joints and the elbow joints, just this section on the forearm here, they're magnetic. The head here is magnetic. If you're going to adjust, for example, the arm or the leg, they strongly suggest that you take the leg off or the arm off, position how you want the joint to be, and then attach the arm. If you try and maneuver it with the magnetic part on there, you may well find it'll scratch or scuff the paintwork. So that was one big thing they mentioned. Also, the great thing that they've done is the detail on this is just unbelievable. The head, like I said, is on a magnet, which means it can swivel to any position you want without any difficulty at all. So if you want a more rising flight pose like that, that can be achieved without a problem at all. Put that back down. Just going to show you the stuff that you get with it. You get this newly developed flight stand that splits all the parts, and I'll show you how that works right at the end, just so you know how it roughly looks. You get the usual articulated hands, repulsor hands, and you get these new blasters, which I probably won't use. They look a little bit like the SH Fig Arts type blasters. Unless you put in a custom LED job, I don't think it'll look too good, but that's my personal opinion on that. So the next part, I'll show you how it looks all dismantled, and the last section I'll show you how it looks on the flight stand. Okay guys, I've broken up the Bones figure into as many parts as I kind of can fit, and I'm going to show you just very briefly what the overall look is if you dismantle the whole thing. The first thing is, the TheReviewerKing is going to hate this. It's like that tarantula situation again with the Peacemaker. It comes with some stickers, so I won't be using those because I generally don't like to put stickers on. So the head is really interesting. It's actually magnetic. So this magnetic piece at the bottom goes onto this section here, so you can pivot in any position you want, which is a nice feature. The arms, all this is articulated. These sort of shoulder panels all articulate. This is the back panel here, and the level of detail is phenomenal. So I'm going to go in here, just show you guys very quickly how that looks. Here's the arm gauntlet which comes off. Here's the forearm and bicep section. You get little shorter stands as well. and this is for the sort of pelvis region where you can put thrusters on if need be. So I'm going to pan back now and show you the figure dismantled. You get the thrusters that will fit on the various parts like the arms, legs, neck, etc. And you get the articulated hands and the repulsor blast hands. Someone did ask, are the thrusters magnetic? They're not. It's just literally a hollow section that fits into the part there. Or if you have one that has a little, let me focus here, has a little stub that fits into the section of the armor. So that's how the bones figure looks, completely dismantled. You can obviously take the fists off the forearms there as well. But the level of engineering of this piece is pretty impressive. I would say it's probably for hardcore Iron Man fans. But the level of detail is absolutely phenomenal. Let me just get a close-up of this. Some of you may be familiar that looks a little bit like the Mark II Armor Unleashed. Paint app is awesome. Okay, let's go into the last section of this first look video. Gentlemen, let's take him to church. So this is essentially the only position that you see Bones in the film, where he breaks apart and attacks about 4 different extremist soldiers. This stand that it comes with is really nicely designed, how it opens up into all the different parts that you can put his sort of head and shoulder section on, his body section. Everything is essentially articulated. You can bend it, it's flexible, you can position it however you want, and those are the thrusters attached onto the limbs. Couple of things to note. I thought it's going to have quite limited articulation in terms of the legs. It's actually got a double bend knee, and I just wanted to put this in the pose. It's a little bit unnatural obviously in this type of setting, but I wanted to show you guys it can do a double bend knee. Because of the magnet system on the forearm gauntlet, it can get quite a nice elbow bend as well. Not quite as much as a double bend, but decent enough, and I'll show that in a separate pose video, because this isn't how I'm gonna pose him up. I'll decide a little bit later on, but it's not quite how I would like it. So look out for that separate pose video. And a couple of other things you should be aware of is that when you put those plastic thruster parts on, be very careful not to damage it. And the biggest point you've got to be aware of, these shoulder articulated plates, be very careful. The plastic holding it together is pretty thin. So please be aware when you are putting the thrusters on, or if you're even articulating the figure, please be aware not to put too much stress or force onto that. Other than that, a really nice figure. Very pleased how this has turned out, and I think Hot Tub has done a great job on making this. Like I said, it's not going to be a figure that a lot of collectors are going to pick up. I would say for more Iron Man enthusiasts and hardcore collectors, because it's a really nice, unique piece that they'll probably never make again. I don't see how they're going to make it. The reason why this is so special is because this is the only armor, the Mark 41, is a non-combat armor and is a prototype for a later armor. I don't believe any other armors have that as part of their design. This Mark 41 is designed solely as the precursor for the Mark 42, and therefore is actually not designed to fit a person in. So if people are asking how could Tony Stark fit into this, it was never designed for him to fit into it. It was designed so that they could make the Mark 42 at a later stage. So anyway guys, this is the first look video on the Mark 41 Bones. Hope you enjoyed it. Check out those reviewers who may have this up at a later stage for the full review. Have a look at my pose video if you like it. Thanks for watching. Catch you all at the next video.